Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sports Talk with G. We have everybody's favorite and the only guest of the show,
Best
uh,
guess.
Tech
Best
Bro,
guess.
formerly known as the Locksmith, title revoked, back as Tech Bro, but he's going to make his case for reclaiming the title of Locksmith. So I'm going to give a cold open to chat to Tech Bro here. Tell us what's been going
Gotcha.
on.
Okay, first of all, I can't believe you revoked my name. So let's talk about, the best gamblers in the world are what, 50 to 55, 60%. If we go through what I've done here, Mooney Ward, MVP. I don't know if you saw the Commanders game, another interception.
Pro
Just so
Bowl also.
correct on that. What'd you say?
He made the Pro Bowl today.
Pro Bowl. Oh, wow. I'm ahead of the game. Eagles fraudulent. I don't know if you remember this going. I called this before my time. Now look at them. They're losing to the Cardinals. Now everyone says Sirianni's, a joke. I think we went over the point differential. So 2 of 2. Okay, the Ravens. Hey, I'm not afraid to show my face here. You forgot one word here. They are not fraudulent yet, in my
Okay.
opinion. Um, you know, I was wrong on the bet. There's nothing I can say there. But if we look at Lamar's playoff record, what has he done? He's 1-3. I don't know if he's got past 1 or 2 wins. He's definitely not got to an AFC title game, has he? Or he's definitely not won one. That's for damn
Not
sure.
one.
Darn sure. Sorry.
Are you going to be like Greg Papa calling him the second best running back in the league
Well,
behind Christian McCaffrey?
no, so I agree, Govin. I feel like I'm turning a little bit into Steven Ruiz here. It's like you say something and you just want to be right. I
Yeah.
don't hate Lamar at all. He's the MVP, but if you're asking me like if we played again, I would still take the Niners. I think it's kind of a weird game. Brock threw kind of 3 picks that were tipped or he was being tackled. One was a real interception. Anyway, long story short, I think the Ravens come back down to earth. I'd be surprised if we even face them in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Probably Bills or even Chiefs is what I'm thinking. How about
Isaiah
you?
looks good. Isaiah Likely looks good. They got some good pieces on offense, especially if Mark Andrews is able to come back. I don't know. I'm scared of, me, I'm always scared of the running quarterbacks. The Niners
Yeah.
just don't do well on defense. I thought the defense was atrocious against the Ravens. Like, didn't they score on 8 straight drives, 7 straight drives, something like that? Um, but okay, so the locksmith is trying to redeem himself.
The locksmith.
Uh,
Okay.
we did not really prep for this show, so we're gonna talk about some fun topics. Keep it short. Um, Number one, who is your biggest surprise on the Niners for the year, in a good way?
Biggest surprise in the Niners.
Positive surprise.
Positive surprise. I'm gonna say George Kittle. And I know he's already good, but he was approaching that land of like overrated. Like I've had him in fantasy the past couple of years, and he would just completely disappear in certain games. And then we'd have to talk about how good he was at blocking for a couple of months, and you'd have to kind of like justify his value. But this year he's been really, really solid, consistent, over 1,000 yards receiving. Obviously, still has the blocking. And another thing is his injury. It's usually kind of injury plagued, but he stayed relatively healthy the whole season. So yeah, pretty impressed with Kittle this year, both from an injury standpoint and then actually just as a receiver. He's always got the blocking, but over 1,000 yards. Yeah, that's impressive to me.
I always have contended Kittle is on par with Kelsey. He just plays a different position than Travis Kelsey. Powell is finally throwing the ball, but I think it's more that Brock is his quarterback, and he's probably been open all these years. And
Yeah.
hospital ball Jimmy just doesn't get it to him.
Let's take a little bit of a left turn or a similar topic, but a little bit of a impromptu turn here. Do we think Kittle is better than Kelsey now? Let me just
Now Kelsey's
right now.
this year, but the I think the Chiefs offense just is out of sync. I think the Swifties have gotten to them. But
We're blaming Taylor Swift.
Kelsey looks kind of washed at times, but
He
so does the
does.
whole offense. I still think he's probably still elite. I think Kittle you're seeing what Kittle would do consistently in an offense that actually throws him the ball. I think he'd be 1,000-yard receiver every year.
Right. So if we look at like the actual, let's compare their numbers. I'll pull them. Kelsey's not 93 receptions, 984 yards.
And
Kittle
we're saying
top.
he's not that good this year. He's pretty good.
He is pretty good, but I feel like the separation the past couple of years has been like Kelsey's, 5 times better than the second best tight end. I think he's actually regressed a lot more than people realize. So he had 1,400 yards last year, 1,200, 1,400 the year before, like 980 yards with 5 touchdowns. He had 12 touchdowns last year. Like, how is this not, when I hear about the Chiefs, how is this not talked about more? That's what's going on with Kelsey? Is he getting double teamed? Probably, but I feel like he's taking a step back where Kittle's
Have you
just.
seen their receivers? Like if I was the defense, I'd only guard Kelsey. Let everybody else do whatever they want. You got Marquez Valdez Scantling dropping everything. Like, I mean, you got nobody. Kadarius Toney dropping everything in sight.
That's fair, but who did they have when they won the Super Bowl as a wide receiver? I mean, Hill was gone. Who else was on that
Well, the
team?
second Super Bowl, it
Yeah,
was Juju.
Juju. Like, is he that good?
No.
All I'm saying is, I think he's
All right,
regressed.
we're gonna move off the Chiefs because I hate the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Um, my biggest positive surprise, keep it short. It honestly, it's Demo and Ambry Thomas. We always knew Ward was good. I didn't know he was this good, but Ambry Thomas this year has surprised me in a good way. I thought he was washed, another third round bust. I think he's pretty good. He's not a star, but he's a good third cornerback, and he's been better than any third cornerback I feel like we've had in the past. So he is my positive in a good way. So next, who's your biggest surprise in a negative way for the 49ers?
Damn, I'd have to think about that one. Why don't you go first on this one? Go and give me a
I mean,
minute.
it's Bosa for me. I think he's just been
Hill.
he's not MVP superstar defensive player of the year Bosa this year. He's just not. I don't care what the pressure numbers say. He's not getting to finish the play. He's not finishing the quarterback into the ground as much this year. He looks smaller. I don't know. He's always lined up against at the right versus the right tackle too, if you've noticed for the most part, and he's still not dominating games. I am a little disappointed.
Would this surprise you? Defensive player of the year odds. Where do you
Now
think it is? Who do you think the top 5 players are?
he's probably in there because everybody loves him, but
That's no, go ahead. So it's probably what? Myles Garrett,
Myles Garrett, mm,
Micah
Blake,
Parsons,
yeah,
Max
TJ
Crosby.
Watt. I don't know.
Bosa is number 5. It's pretty good for being a disappointment.
All right.
Garrett, I'm not saying you're wrong. Like, I'm watching the games too. He doesn't seem that impactful.
He's not popping out as much.
He's got maybe 10 or 11 sacks, and they're like, for lack of a better term, like cheap sack. Like, they're never those impactful. Like, it's 3rd and 2. We need you to sack someone out of field goal range and end the game. It's like these sacks where the quarterbacks kind of crumble, and it's like
it's always like, oh, the quarterback's getting rid of the ball fast. I was like, so who's
so
yours?
you on that. I'm gonna go with Jake Moody. Just your favorite pick. I just cannot believe that we like don't even kick field goals anymore. Do you notice that?
Yeah, because they don't need to. They've kicked a few, but they're meaningless field goals. We haven't kicked a meaningful field goal since he missed one.
Yeah. So for what, second round? I forget. Third
Third
round
round
pick.
pick. Yeah,
Third round pick.
They said it was a third round comp, so basically a fourth round pick. But
This guy drained at Michigan. Absolutely drained.
He did. I think he might have made the Pro Bowl today.
Money Moody was his name in Michigan. I mean,
Hey, he's better than Michigan's kicker they have now.
Hold on. He's in the Pro Bowl?
I'm pretty sure. I think I
Hold
saw
on. What? How is he in the Pro Bowl? I guess, let's see, 2023. Yeah, maybe. I just don't like his face. Maybe that's it. He
doesn't look like, he doesn't imbue confidence.
He doesn't
like,
imbue.
when I see him, I don't feel confident.
So he doesn't imbue confidence. He's made all 51. Wow. 58 out of 58 extra points. 21 of 24 field goals. I see. But the ones he missed cost us the game. That's the problem.
I agree with Moody. We're gonna keep it rolling. We're keeping it tight today. The next thing I wanted to ask is, I had it. Oh yeah. Reflecting on the big January 1st games. The biggest takeaway? Come on, give it to me. What's the biggest takeaway?
January 1st games. This
College
is where
football.
I know. No, I know that. Um, biggest takeaway. I guess what's coming to my mind, I'm thinking about Alabama, Michigan. Um, the Rose Bowl. My biggest takeaway is when that thing is full and the sun's going down and it's pinkish red hue across around the stadium, like just makes me think, why can't UCLA be good at football?
The
It
Rose Bowl is the
so
saddest place for a team
dude,
because
it
UCLA
is.
is there.
It's like they have this gem of a stadium, 100,000 people.
3 hours away from campus.
Yeah, I understand, but if can you imagine if we were good and there was big games played there? Like unbelievable,
Well, it'll
unbelievable
be packed
venue.
with opposing
Uh,
fans.
but no, my other biggest takeaway is I think I don't know what Nick Saban was thinking on that last play where the quarterback sneak just ran into the back of his offensive lineman. I feel like he got a little tight there. Nick got a little tight on that
Nick's
play
not calling
call.
the play. Tommy Reese.
Um, but like he's gotta like make a call down and say, let's not run that. That was they Harbaugh basically baited them into that. And yeah, just I feel like the moment for once was too big for Saban, which I've never seen. I was pretty confident that Alabama was going to win that game. But when you have kind of a high school offense like Alabama does, they don't have
That
you
quarterback
know,
is not good.
yeah, they don't have the best quarterback in the draft like they normally do. I guess you just run up the middle with them. So
Can you believe
biggest
there's some
takeaway
talk of
was
JJ McCarthy being a first rounder for Michigan? Absolutely not. No way. No one should touch the guy.
no
Uh,
way.
but my number one takeaway from the two games, this is the most obvious takeaway. Again, everybody should hire me a special teams coach. Don't put a punt returner back there because they always do dumb things. Literally, Michigan should have lost the game because of punt returners. And then same in the Washington game. Punt return. And by the way, did you see Texas had a guy with a cast on returning kicks, and there was one time where he dropped the ball because he took
So,
like,
dude,
just give me a break.
can we spend 1 minute on this? I have to just say for our audience of 12 and growing,
Hey,
I
we've
want
got 50 something views and
50
higher.
something viewers. Let's all just take a minute, slow round of applause.
Thank you.
Govins punt return take, I thought was insane at first. And now watching these games, 100% correct. Michigan almost gets safetied on their 1 yard line because the guy tries to be a hero.
After
Nearly
fumbling a punt, after losing a punt earlier.
on the Niners, Bell, he's back there. Literally, it's a line drive punt, and he full sprints like Usain Bolt towards the ball, and at the last moment tries to back off. It's like these people lose their minds. There should be some type of psychological experiment. I don't know what's happening with
That's what
punt.
I'm saying. We have people telling me like, you just put a person back there to fair catch.
No,
I'm telling you, they won't just fair catch. They won't
they
do it.
can't.
They'll see a small crease. They'll be like, I can do it.
But my theory is, and I mentioned this to you and Jared over text. Shout out Jared, just never comes on.
He's never gonna come on.
Yeah, my thing is it's an inherent conflict of interest because you need your best guys returning the kicks, and we're never going to do that. No one's ever going to do that because of injury, concerns.
Yep.
So you have these like fourth string guys trying to do something incredibly difficult. Judge how far away people are. Are they going to get their head taken off? And so you have turnovers. So I'm with you. Can the punt returner round
I
of
mean, you'd
applause?
think Jim would have learned. Jim have you learned now? Do not return punts in the title game. You will lose if you try to return a punt. You will lose. You'll have someone named Kyle Williams 2.0 back there. You will lose. You will have nightmares about it. And you're not going to be singing who's got it better than us to the whole Rose Bowl and have them chant.
Flacco does.
So
yeah.
Flacco's, by the way, sitting because he's resting for the playoffs.
Joe Flacco's resting for the playoffs because he's so good.
But in the title game, by the way, Michael Penix got a beautiful deep ball.
Oh my god!
I think their offense is too dynamic for Michigan, but Michigan's pass rush is awesome. I think it's going to be a really fun matchup, but those Washington receivers do not drop the ball. If you throw a ball up and it's catchable, they're coming down with it. That guy Roma Dunze is fantastic, would look great in little 49ers colors. But I got Washington in the game. Who do you got?
Oh, dude, I wouldn't put this in my locksmith. I'm not a big college football guy, but this is going to be Michigan all day. Pac-12 isn't real. Let's be
So,
real.
it's going to be a crazy game because, Michigan Harbaugh always plays crazy close games. And Washington has basically every one of their last, I forgot the number, like 10 games has been with 10 or less points.
You
So
think you think that Washington can stop Michigan's offense?
I don't think
That's
Michigan's offense is very good.
I mean, I think Washington's defense is that bad, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think Washington's offense
12?
is so good.
Yeah, I mean, it should be interesting. They can throw the ball like nobody's business, but
All right, we're gonna finish up with the NBA take.
God, I love the NBA. Can we do more NBA?
We can do more NBA.
About the Warriors, Klay Thompson, Harrison
Well,
Barnes.
here's your open floor for your NBA take. Whatever you'd like to talk about. I got mine
Anything?
coming up. Anything.
I mean, I want to talk about my Warriors.
Talk about it.
I think since Draymond's been suspended, we've looked pretty much like a new team. Kuminga's kind of taken off. I think he's at double digits in 5 or 6 straight games. I'm done with Draymond with seeing this new team. We have more energy. Pajemski starting in the starting lineup has brought a ton of energy. Kuminga's, like I said, kind of taking off. His minutes are hampered by Draymond Green. Your buddy Clay's even playing better. I don't know. Is that
I saw he took some responsibility and took himself out of the game once, right?
Yeah, took himself out of the game. He had a great defensive showing yesterday against Boncaro on the Magic. But yeah, I think my take is I think the Warriors aren't gonna like go anywhere and win the title or anything like that. But I don't think they're as dead as you and Bill Simmons think. I think that Clay actually, ever since he said he sucked, and he's averaging at least 20 a game. He's hitting threes. He's not the same player, but there's been a little bit of a revival post Draymond. And then I read something today that Draymond has not visited the Warriors facility. It's been completely away from the team. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
I think he's allowed to, but I think.
Do you think Steve Kerr wants to see Draymond's face?
Is he done with the Warriors? Like, are we ever going to see Draymond Warriors jersey again?
Let me ask you this question. Do you think Steve Kerr is 10 times happier or 100 times happier that Draymond isn't in the building every day?
He would tell you that we need him. I think he can't stand him. Literally every 5 days he has to be like, he's got to keep it together, But the question really is, where's Stephen Curry on it? He's the one making the decision, I think, in the background. If Curry wants Draymond, we're going to keep Draymond.
Okay, how high a seed do you think the Warriors can get to?
Man, I'm just being realistic. 8th seed is probably where they're looking. I think, right now they're barely on the fringe for even being a playing team, but man, I still think something's there. I think they just have to find the right puzzle pieces. I don't think they're a title contender, but Wiggins is going to play better. Like I said, Kuminga, 21 years old, double digits in his last 8 or 10 games, is looking really good. So he's coming on. But yeah, I think Clay is a problem. I think when we lose, it's Clay going 1 for 11 and playing no defense and Kerr staying too loyal. So I think 8th seed, but how about your Kings? I watched the game the other day, and Harrison Barnes had 0 stats in the first half.
Let's talk about the Kings. So the Kings have basically 2 starters who are trash, Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes. They literally do nothing. They barely play. Huerter is now coming off the bench for Chris Duarte, who's also not very good, but at least has more energy. And I don't know, maybe it's something different. But on the Kings, I think I made a couple comments about the Kings earlier this year, but I have 2 comments. I think De'Aaron Fox is still underrated. I think people still don't realize how good he is and how good at 3-point shooting now he is. I think he's over 40% on the year on a really high number of attempts. Can you look that up, sir?
Looking it up.
But
yeah, Fox 39.8. Yeah, 40%.
Okay. On how many attempts a game?
I'll have to pull it up. Keep going.
Okay. And then Sabonis, I hate on him for some of his flaws, but we have to give him some props for the good things he does. And does some good things really well, and I think the problem for NBA fans as a whole is like they're judging the Kings as like, are they going to win a title? But I think for Sacramento, it's like, are we going to make the playoffs? And
You
maybe that's
still
not how
think
it
they're in
should
that.
be.
I feel like they turned that corner last year. There should be higher
It's 1 year,
expectations.
one out of how many years? To how many things? How many times do you have to repeat something to become a habit? I think they just got to continue to prove they make the playoffs, and then you make a different move. I think Keegan Murray needs to continue to step up. He's had some crazy games, and then some games of disappearing. But I think if they can figure out a way to get some kind of rim protection somehow, I think
Yeah.
then they can elevate to contender status. But until then, they'll make the playoffs. They're not going to win a title, but that's also okay. I think that's okay, and then see where it goes. But
Fox, by the way, 2017 and 18 season averaged 2 threes a game.
okay,
This year, 9 threes a game.
on 40% is pretty good.
That's pretty damn good. I mean, I
Yeah,
like the Kings, like I mentioned. I have a question for you. Do you think Sabonis is an all-star? This
you know,
is a hot topic.
I think there's so many. There's actually a lot of pretty good big men now. I feel like in the West, like Sengun would make it
Probably.
over Sabonis. I think. We got Jokic. I think Victor will just make it because of the popularity vote, even though he's not good. I think Chet should make the All-Star game. I think he's awesome.
Chet, rookie of the year over Victor.
He should definitely be the rookie of the year. And then
I-
who else? Maybe he will make it. I don't know.
I've got, yeah. On our next pod, I know we're ending. I've got so many NBA topics I want to talk about.
Okay,
Like,
next
is
pod we'll do
Popovich
NBA.
overrated? What's going on with Popovich?
Yes,
It's
Popovich is
getting
overrated.
ridiculous, dude.
He
It's
does
like,
some
yeah,
ridiculous.
we're losing on purpose. It's funny, like ha ha ha. And then it's like, okay, with Victor, we still lose every game. He doesn't have any plays to run for him. He's like just letting him float around. Like
Doesn't have a point guard running plays for
yeah,
Victor either.
like he's got Sohan shooting free throws with one hand. It's just like, dude, what are you doing? This
I
guy.
think Greg is drunk with power and money, and he's just
Wow.
like chilling. He's just like, you know
I
what?
mean,
We're just gonna have a good time.
yeah, I heard like on Bill Simmons pod the other day was like, are we sure he went to the right place? Did he? It's like we're so glad Wembanyama went to San Antonio. It's like, are we glad? Because I kind of agree. He's being used incorrectly and
I agree.
seems terrible, which would break his confidence. And I don't like what's going on in San Antonio.
All right, we're gonna end with my not hot take, but used to be a hot take. I
Whole
used to
take.
think The Crown was stupid, but then I've watched a bunch
Oh,
of the seasons, and it's an awesome show. But I am a team Claire Foy as the true Queen Elizabeth. She's the best. She's the first two seasons, the Queen.
she's the
Uh,
best.
I watched the last season, and then I'm going back and watching season 3 now. It's
Mm,
jarring getting used to the new cast, I will say, when they come on. But Philip seems kind of like an a-hole
yeah,
sometimes. Elizabeth seems like she's stuck in a rock between a rock and a hard place most of her life.
most of
Um,
her life.
and but the acting,
Although,
the soundtrack, everything's awesome.
yeah, I'm watching the final season right now. I will say Queen Elizabeth turns into, my opinion, a heartless. I can't swear.
I thought she was heartless from the beginning.
By the end, it's just like as you see what they do to
Well,
like
but by the
Princess
end,
Diana and all these
she's
people.
not Queen Elizabeth anymore. She's Umbridge. So we already knew that she was heartless.
That's right. You mustn't tell lies, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that? Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
We're
You
we're
can't
gonna
fight.
sign off here.
All right.